Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we have the question forum, and I have Judy Fisk, is it, in relation to item 9.10, Conjoy Street, Robinson. Would you like to come forward? Just. Feel free to take your mask off. I know what it's like.
Hey, sorry. Right. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak this afternoon. It's in relation to the portion of Conjoy Street to the east of the fire shed. As Robertson is the residential area of Robertson is approximately a mile square in Old Scale.
Look, just take your time. You've got all the time in the world, so don't talk too quick.
Okay. The town boundary is a mile square. West High, East and Charlotte Street are the streets of the town boundary of Robertson.
Look, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but you have to go slower and tell me better where the town boundaries are. I know Robinson, I've been there many times. Matter of fact, I had lunch there on Saturday near the Big Potato. But if you wouldn't mind just going slower and just give me a better idea of what you're talking about. I know where the fire station is, and they Conjoy Street, I've been and had a look, and I know the area that they're suggesting be closed. But if you're talking about a bigger area, just go a bit slower for me if you don't mind. Feel totally relaxed.
Okay. I was just going to say that not one of these streets is fully opened. That's was my point for a cycleway exercise, and now the council wants to shut down another part of a section of one of the streets, being Conjoy Street, or part of Conjoy Street, east of the fire shed. When blocks of land and housing have doubled in price in less than 12 months, and the affordability to many is difficult already. That's quite a large section of land that you wish to close. And also those houses that actually front Conjoy Street are deeded or titled on the Land Titles Office to Conjoy Street, not to Alcorn Lane that they front and use. So that is going to be a problem again once you close a section of that land. I don't know why you would want to close such a large section. It's been quite a long time that the fire shed has been there, and obviously the fire shed is, I would not think the fire shed would need the amount of land that you're looking at closing there. But it is centrally located to the school, to the doctors, to many things, the bakery, and it's within 800 metres of the central basically business area, and it's proven that people will walk within 800 metres. So if that was allowed to be, well, it could be a cycleway, it could be walkway, it could be part section of road, it's quite difficult there with the school being there as well, as that part of Kaylong Street at the side of the school is also closed off, so that cars have to go in and turn or go down Auckland Lane. I think it's been made one way recently, and I just can't remember which way it's been made one way. So to close it down for the future would be it would make it difficult, maybe for housing as well, for people with existing housing that now front the made Auckland Lane and the unmade Conjoy Street. If they wanted to strata or whatever, that would make it a little difficult. But it is in the centre of the town, and housing has doubled in price, and the rentals are there's no rentals available. So at a later stage, some of those owners of some of those houses may wish to put more housing in, at the back of those blocks or the front of those blocks, on the northern side or the southern side. Alcorn Lane being north and Conjewoy Street behind the unmade street. That will make it difficult if you wanted to strata, because they are rated to Conjewoy Street, and how is the council going to deal with that? Are they going to pay for the changes for them to go, or I don't know the legality of it with regard to the title, but they are actually titled to Conjewoy Street. Having lived and worked in the area all my life, it's just hard to find that several of the streets, namely May, parts of May, Barangarry, High, East, Main, Charlotte, Conjewoy Street, and many have been closed or unmade still, and in the future they will need to be made. It would just seem ludicrous to keep shutting all these streets down. The council recommended to, I understand, to the state government for High, a portion of land to the north of High Street to be in the 10 years ahead project, but High Street and parts of High Street and East Street on the northeastern corner have been shut or sold off to some of the properties fronting Shackleton Street, an internal street. I'm not sure that I have much more to say, only that it's a shame to keep closing all these streets that will be used and can be used in the future. And many people have now, since many road closures or have been done within the Robertson Village, now don't have access to the streets or the rights to subdivide because the roads have been closed, or to strata in the future. Thank you.
Where do you live in relation to this?
I live up opposite Pearson's Lane.
So is that in the proximity, or?
No. Oh, it's west of Robertson Township.
Yeah, because you're covering a bit of ground in what you were talking. As I said, I was out there on Saturday, and I actually went to May Road because I thought, oh, this is interesting.
But several parts of May Street are closed off.
Yeah, but and as I understand it, you can't go from east to west on the northern side of the highway, but under the residential strategy, you will be able to eventually, because that's part of it, to improve flows. But you're talking about
what, on High Street? But you've
I don't know which street it is, but the briefing when I was out there with the staff, they were explaining to me you've got to come back onto the highway to get around, and this will overcome that problem.
It makes it very difficult.
Yeah, well, that's
for the tradies. One tradie came and said he'd been driving around for 3 hours.
Well, you're talking now about the southern side of the highway, where this is. I will ask the officer who will introduce this matter to address the issues you're talking about, but it's a long time since I was involved in a road closure application as against making a decision. But as I understood it, it has to be offered in the first instance to an adjoining property owner. And you're right, there are a number of
3 or 4, I think. From
3.
memory.
There's 3.
Yes.
And I don't know whether that's occurred, but I will ask the officer who's introducing the matter to address those issues. And
I don't own one of those properties.
No, but and I don't share your concerns. So, but I'd just like to have some of those things answered that you're talking about. I doubt whether it is going to affect pedestrian access, because there will still be pedestrian access adjacent to the railway line. So look, let's ask the officer to give us some more advice, and if I think it's necessary, I can always defer the matter and meet you on site. But I don't want to build expectations.
No. I just don't know where they're going to do the pedestrian access.
Well, the plan I'm looking at, you could do it by walking past the RFS shed. But look, let's, I'm happy to be corrected. I know a little about a lot. But I looked at this one and I was quite happy. But if your comments are valid, I'm happy to defer, meet you on site. But not build any expectations, but I'd like to hear from the officers first.
It's just that it's so centrally located with the school off Kalong Street and the traffic flow there, because there is only a 20-foot lane between the highway and Conjeeway Street.
Let's see what the officers say.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think there's any more, so we'll just wait until it's nearly 3:30 now. General Manager, I presume the acting Chief Financial Officer, who is the authoriser of this report,